Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your life isn't where you thought it would be. The dreams you once had feel distant. The people you thought would always be there have moved on. And the version of yourself you imagined becoming still hasn't arrived. Maybe you're struggling right now. Maybe you're working hard, but nothing seems to change. You keep trying, failing, and starting again. And secretly, you wonder, how long can I keep doing this? But listen carefully. You are not finished yet. Your current situation is not the final chapter of your story. It is only a page. Sometimes the darkest page comes right before everything begins to change. Look at someone standing at the bottom of a massive mountain. Their hands are tired, their clothes are dirty, their breathing is heavy, and the top isn't even visible. They've already fallen several times. Every time they get back up, another problem appears. That's life. You solve one problem and another one arrives. You finally make progress, and suddenly something goes wrong. But remember this, the person climbing the mountain doesn't need to see the entire path. They only need to see the next few steps. Don't worry about the next 5 years. Ask yourself, what can I do today that makes tomorrow slightly better? Read 10 pages. Learn one skill. Exercise. Create something. Take one step. Because small steps, repeated for long enough, become massive changes. Now imagine that same person continuing forward, even when everything inside them is screaming, "Stop!" This is where your story changes. Not when everything suddenly becomes easy. Not when someone comes to save you. Your story changes when you decide that quitting is no longer an option. Motivation is temporary. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other mornings you won't even want to get out of bed. That's normal. You don't need to feel motivated. You need discipline. The strongest people aren't always the people who feel strong. Sometimes they're terrified, exhausted, and uncertain. But they keep walking anyway. That's courage. Courage is saying, I'm afraid, but I'm moving forward. Now imagine that person months later. Nothing dramatic has happened. There isn't a giant celebration. Nobody is cheering. But something is different. They're stronger. They're calmer. They're more confident. They're no longer the same person who stood at the bottom of the mountain. And that's the part people don't see. They see success, but they don't see the thousands of ordinary days that created it. They see the athlete holding the trophy, but not the mornings when they trained alone. They see the successful person, but not the years of rejection. Success is usually invisible until suddenly it becomes impossible to ignore. So don't underestimate your ordinary days. Every workout, every page, every practice, every failure, and every small effort is building the person you're becoming. One day, you will look back and realize something incredible. The person who once thought they couldn't survive, survived. The person who thought they would never change, changed. The person who thought their dreams were impossible got closer than they ever imagined. And you may finally understand that the struggle wasn't there to destroy you. It was building you. Every rejection taught you resilience. Every failure taught you something success never could. Every difficult season made you stronger. Every time you had to start again, you learned how to rebuild. You've already survived things you once thought would break you. So why are you afraid of the next challenge? You've survived before. You can survive again. Now imagine yourself standing somewhere beautiful. The sun is rising and you're looking toward the horizon. For the first time in a long time, you aren't afraid of the future. Because you finally understand something. Your future isn't created by one giant decision. It's created by hundreds of small decisions. What you do today, what you choose tomorrow, what you refuse to give up on, who you become when nobody is watching. That's what creates your future. So if you're struggling right now, don't hate yourself for not being where you want to be. You're still becoming. If you're behind, keep going. If you failed, learn. If you've been rejected, try again. If you're tired, rest. But don't confuse resting with quitting. Take a breath. Then take another step. You don't need to run. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to keep moving. Because one day, the life you're fighting for today may become the life you are grateful you never gave up on. And when that day comes, you'll look back at the version of yourself who almost quit and say, "Thank you for staying. Thank you for getting back up. Thank you for trying one more time." Your story is not over. Your mistakes don't define you. Your failures don't define you. Your past doesn't have the final word. You still have time. You still have choices. You still have another opportunity. So take that first step, then another. Even if it's slow, even if it's painful, even if nobody notices, keep going. Because sometimes the distance between the life you have and the life you've always dreamed about is simply one more step, and then one more. Until one day, you turn around and realize you made it. Don't quit now. You're closer than you think.